What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Smoke and Vine. My name is Carlos Bradley, and today we are going to be talking about how to smoke ribs. So first of all, thank you to everyone for stopping by the channel today. This is going to be part of a barbecue basics series that I'm doing here on YouTube, where we're going to go through just some very basic barbecue how-to step-by-step, and I cannot wait. So first of this barbecue basics series is how to smoke ribs. So today we're going to be smoking some St. Louis style ribs, and they are going to be amazing. And then a little bit later on in the video, we're going to have a special guest stop by, and they're going to tell us what we should drink with these ribs. Now, before we get too deep into the video, it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe and like to this channel. Also, you can check me out on my other socials on Instagram and on TikTok, where I have about 230,000 followers.
Wow.
Today we are smoking ribs, and we're going to be smoking these ribs on a Traeger pellet grill. Now, you do not have to use a pellet grill to smoke ribs. In fact, there are many different methods and many different types of smokers or grills that you can use. You can use an offset smoker, you can use a barrel smoker, you can use a Weber kettle. Pretty much the step-by-step directions that we go through today will apply to any of those methods. The only thing that I would maybe recommend you not trying these instructions on, it would be a gas grill. Gas grill, it's very hard to regulate heat. You're going to have a really heavy and strong heat source on the bottom, and most likely you will end up with very, very crispy and burnt ribs.
Yeah.
So we're going to get our smoker turned on and set to about 225 degrees, and that's where we would like to maintain this entire cook. Now again, there are many ways for you to smoke ribs. You don't have to do them at 225. In fact, you could do them at 250. You could do them at 275. I'm trying to do extremely low and slow. I want to get optimum smoke flavor on this pork, and so that's why I'm doing them at 225 degrees. Now, I smoke enough ribs that I know that these are going to probably take anywhere between 5 to 6 hours for them to be done. Now, with this barbecue basics series, I'm going to give you the easiest steps possible to make great barbecue. I'm not going to give you the steps for, let's say, competition barbecue. Something that you get on social media a lot is people will leave a little bit of hate comments and say things like, that would never win in a competition. Well, guess what? I'm not cooking for competition. I'm cooking for backyard. I'm cooking for my family. So I'm going to cook these ribs differently than I would if I was cooking them in a rib competition. The ultimate thing that I want you to get out of this video and today's cook is I want you to have fun in the process. Don't get stressed out by the process. Again, we're going to be going through easy step-by-step directions. You're going to make some fantastic ribs with this recipe. Another thing I would add is this is pretty much my go-to cook recipe for ribs. There's lots of methods out there. There's 3-2-1, there's 2-2, and I'll eventually talk about multiple methods like that on this channel, but today, just a very simple, we're not covering, we're not wrapping these ribs. They're going to have a straight cook 225 degrees the entire way until they're done. We're going to sauce them at the very end, the last hour of the cook, and they're going to be absolutely incredible. So let's get to it. So we're moving inside for this trim because it is just too damn hot outside. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at these racks and see if there's any little bits of pieces of fat or meat that are just hanging off that are probably just going to burn up in the cook, and we're going to cut those off. The next thing that we're going to deal with is the back membrane. Now, many people will tell you to remove this membrane. For me, all that I'm going to do is score the back membrane. When you're cooking ribs for 5 or 6 hours, you do not have to remove it. Then we're going to add some yellow mustard as a slather. This is going to help that rub really stick to the ribs. Go ahead and rub your meat down really, really good. For our seasoning today, we are using our favorite all-purpose barbecue rub, which is Smoke Mafia by Rub City. Now, on the back part of these ribs, we're not going to season too hard. Go ahead and pat that in, make sure that the rub adheres nicely. We're going to go a lot heavier on the meat side of the ribs. Again, laying down our yellow mustard slather. Rub your meat really, really good. and then apply your rub. This rub packs fantastic flavors, kind of your traditional barbecue flavors. Now these are going on our 225 degree Traeger. Again, these are gonna go on for most likely around 6 hours. We're gonna space these ribs out so there's probably an inch in between each rack so smoke can really envelop the entire rib. Another thing that we're gonna do, which is kind of a pro tip, is we're going to squeeze the racks together from end to end, which is gonna help them keep their shape during the cook. Now, after about 2 hours, we are going to start spritzing these ribs. We're spritzing these today with a 50-50 apple juice and apple cider vinegar mixture. The spritzer that I'm using is a Solo sprayer. Now, these ribs have been on for about 5 hours, and now it's time to sauce. Today, we are saucing with one of my favorite barbecue sauces, and that is Traeger's Apricot Barbecue Sauce. We're going to lay down a nice line on the top of each rack, and then we are just going to gently brush them on. The rub is pretty set. We really don't need to worry about the rub coming off. We're going to do this probably twice during the last hour of the cook today. All right, our ribs are done. So that was about a 6-hour cook at 225 degrees. So we're gonna let these rest for just a couple of minutes, and while they're resting, we're gonna talk about what we are drinking tonight with these ribs. Tonight we're gonna be drinking my absolute favorite pairing with ribs, and that is Syrah. And there's no one better to tell us about why Syrah and ribs go so fucking well together than my good friend, Ted Glennon. Ted?
Hi. We're talking about fine wine pairings and classic casual food. Ribs are the long taken, sweet, spicy, intense, smoky classic of American cuisine. And Syrah is a grape that is often misunderstood. It's something that has the intensity to stand up to the sauce, the spice, the smoke, the fat, the meat, the flavor. But it's also refreshing. We've got some great wines here on the table that would do amazing things with these ribs tonight. Why would we be drinking Syrah with ribs? Well, Syrah is something that's known for its intensity. It's known for being grown in sunny climates like Australia and California. It's known for just being super delicious and intense and concentrated and filled with flavors. And isn't that, when we think about ribs, we think about taking something that is already intense in flavor and just lathering it with sauce and spice and spending tons of time on the grill. This evening, for these 3 racks of ribs, we have 3 badass bottles. We've got Spring Mountain's 1995 Syrah. So this is up at a high elevation vineyard in the Napa Valley. We have Chalone High Elevation in Monterey County up on the old volcano, their 2017 estate. This is the Beaucastel clone. Look that up. Alain Graillot, one of my favorites. This is affordable too. You probably find this under $40 retail. This is the Crozes Hermitage. So this is the old ancient riverbed of the Rhone Valley. Old vine and concrete. Really pretty, really spicy, really rich. Some of the classic tasting notes for Syrah would be like deep plum, roasted meat, black pepper, soy, teriyaki, smoke, that herb de Provence thing, that lavender, rosemary, thyme, sage, garrigue. And doesn't that sound like ribs? Doesn't that sound like something really perfect to like match up right here? Hey, another thing to think about when we talk about like pairing with ribs, we think about things that maybe we need some temperature because it's a hot sunny day. Here's a tip: throw the bottle in the fridge for 20 minutes. Even a full-bodied, big, intense red wine, if it's chilled out for a couple minutes, is going to be even better. And we're having ribs, having a hot day. I mean, we live down here towards Monterey where it's chilly even in the summer. But in a hot day, where you're making ribs, you want to have like a rich, intense wine, throw that thing on ice for 20 minutes. Give it a little chill. That's always a great move. Rosé is one of those things. Champagne's one of those things. Beer is one of those things. We like those things that are chilled out for barbecue food. Throw your red wine on ice. All right. I don't know how you rib. This evening is ribbed for your pleasure. Cheers.
All right, now we're going to pour ourselves some of this delicious Spring Mountain Syrah, and we are going to cut our ribs. This will absolutely be the perfect pairing for these racks of ribs.
Holy mother of God. That's fantastic.
The Spring Mountain?
Yeah.
Spring Mountain's dope.
So today we're slicing these ribs with our new Dow Strong 12-inch extra long Crixus chef's knife. This thing is a brute. It's kind of a hybrid between a chef's knife and a cleaver slicer, and it is going to make easy business of these ribs. Wow, these ribs came out amazing. We've got a beautiful smoke ring on them. We have a fantastic bark that is set on these ribs. The flavor, the smell is absolutely perfect. These are going to be incredible. Again, thank you so much for stopping by the channel today and watching this video. It means the absolute world to me. It would mean so much if you would like and subscribe to the channel. Lots more in this barbecue basics coming soon. Let's go.